Hello and welcome to another video. In today's episode we are going to take a look at my setup of the Cinnamon desktop environment, because recently I migrated my workflow from the Budgie desktop to the Cinnamon, and recently I managed to set it up to my liking, so I wanted to share this with you because I needed to do some tweaking that you might also be interested in. So the Cinnamon desktop environment is developed by the Linux Mint team, and this is basically the default desktop environment for Linux Mint, but it is also of course available in Arch Linux. It is in the community repository, so you can just install it with pacman. And of course, just like everything in Arch Linux, it comes without any nice pre-configuration. It just comes as bare bones as possible, so you will have to do some work to make it look nice, and so it doesn't really have the out-of-the-box feel, especially on Arch Linux, that would make me want to use this desktop environment, but actually I could figure out a way to use it. And for that I will show you my whole screen, well, at least my left monitor, my main monitor. And as you can see here, that we have a system, well, it is the panel on the bottom of the screen, and there is what is this, dock with icons on the top, a little to the left, and there is also a dock on the left side of the screen. And so these docks are the Plank application, and this is the basic, this is the, in Cinnamon you got this basic panel down there, and so your panel can be configured to have applets, and so a lot of applets can be downloaded. And maybe if I just go to this part of the screen, you might see this window a little better. Yeah. So here you can see that you can download any kind of, these are kind of spices as they call it, to your computer, and you can use this to basically, it is for your personal use, so it's not system-wide, it is going to be just for your user. And from these I downloaded the Redshift, the weather, and the word clock calendar applets, but the word clock calendar is not really working well for me, because I cannot change only the what is this, the UCT time appears for me. I cannot edit the word clocks for some reason, because some of the dependencies might not be installed on my computer, but the manual is not really informative on what I should need for this. So this is the Redshift icon, so I have it set up for my location, and basically I just enable it to change the screen color based on the position of the sun at my location. I have, this is so this is on the system tray already, and this is my wallpaper selector called Variety. So I've been using this on the Budgie desktop. I did not use this Redshift thing because the Budgie desktop has a built-in functionality that is very similar to Redshift. And so this is the weather applet. This is a little different than the weather applet that was available on Budgie. And so these are Plank, what is it called? Plank docks. And so because my dock is provided by the Plank application, and this can be started with the Plank command, but let's just see the help for this, and we can see here that by giving it this -n or --name switch, we can actually give a name to our dock. If we don't do that, this dock will be just called dock1, and we can edit the Plank --preferences will start the preference dialog for our dock. And so if we go back to the screen recording, this is how it will look like. We can have a matte or transparent look. Let's just see the whole screen here. So if I change it to transparent, then the background will be transparent. I don't really like that, because let's see, if I put something here, then it will look very weird. So I prefer the matte look. My behavior is that I switch it to IntelliHide, so it will hide it when I have a window in front of it, and it will come out if I put my cursor to the edge of the screen where it is. And so here I switched off the show unpinned switch, so I don't want all the other applications that are running to appear here, only the ones that I logged there. And so I don't restrict to Workspace, so even things, but it doesn't really matter because only the pinned things are opening. In that case, I switched on lock icons, so I cannot move the icons with just grabbing these things. So this is because I don't want to be able to accidentally change the order here, and so I don't use these docklets. You can add some other things there. And so appearance is like, you can modify where this dock is. I prefer to put it a little to the side, so when I have like windows here, like here, then if I go to this close button here, I don't accidentally trigger the dock. And here you can change the size. So now we have 42, and we can increase it to whatever, or decrease it. I like 42, and the icon zoom will let you zoom in here. And so you can see here that basically Plank stores the configurations of the planks in your .config directory, .config/plank. And so here is for dock1, and these are all the launchers that are there. And so I have the side dock, which also appears here. So if I go back to the just the console here, and I will just type in plank -n side _ dock and -- preferences, then my left side dock preferences will appear here. And basically the difference is that I just turned on this show unpinned thingy, so even those icons that are not pinned here will appear, and that means that I can just click on them and to switch to the application, even though I don't have them in this launcher by default. And what I have by default is Nemo, the file manager, the URXVT terminal, and Firefox. And so of course, to put these icons into your Plank dock, then first you have to turn on the unpinned. So you turn on that it is shown, and then when it's shown, you can you have to also turn off the lock icons, and then you can turn on the keep in dock. If you turn this off, on that the locking is turned on, then there is no option for pin or unpin. So you have to be able to do that. And if you have more than one docks, then you have to name them consistently and run them consistently. And then how do we start this? So this application have to be started when we start the Cinnamon desktop for them to appear, and that is the next thing we are going to take a look at. Okay, so to auto start this Plank, you have to have these things in this auto start directory here. Yay. And so you need to get these desktop files. And where you get these desktop files from, let's open a new tab here. And so if I just go back to the USR, so /USR and /share and /applications here, you can basically, let's find Plank. So here is Plank. Oh, I said here is blank, and we can just copy it to our autostart directory in our home folder /.config/autostart, and then we can edit them, for example, in gvim. And if we edit them in take a look at them in Vim, we can see that this icon is basically has the exact blank, so we'll just run the blank command. And for the second one, we need to add this -n switch. Here we will tell this that, yeah, you should run the doc named side doc, and using these two, we can basically run those two docs, and then with these switches we can turn on and turn off. We can set some delay up, and that's it. So these are things. So this is one of the weird things that just happened recently, is that the plus and minus signs somehow disappeared. I don't know, I tried switching the theme to another theme, and that still is not working. So if we are already at the themes, then let's take a look at my themes. And my theme is basically the same that I used on the budget desktop. It is Tela green for the icons and Adapta green for the basically the look of this desktop. Everything, these window decorations. So these are all these Adapta green, and you can see you have a little more granular control here than in the budget desktop. You can separately change these three elements to different themes if you want to. Cinnamon also gives you an opportunity to just download themes for your user, as I made a video about how I made just like a system-wide package from this Adapta green theme, so everyone on this computer can use it basically. And so this is the theme, and there is, oh, I did not tell you that on my bottom here on this I have the workspace switcher. I have the 4 workspaces here, and so in the budget desktop I used to have it on this dock here, but Plank does not have an option for workspace switcher, so I just use the built-in workspace switcher here, which is nice. And also Cinnamon desktop actually better in this tray, like the icon list here, because you can just set up the icons to always just fill out this available space. In the budget desktop they just started to push the things off my screen. If I had too many windows open here, it will just basically set the ones with the long names appear, you know, like bigger buttons, and the ones with the short name appear in smaller buttons, which is kind of nice. So I did a lot of playing around with the shortcuts with hotkeys, because first of all, like in the system, the logout and the lock screen should be a super Q, like quit, and super L for lock, and the original setup was Control Alt L, which I don't like because I used Windows for too long. So I just prefer the super L combination. And well, what else? The run dialog with super R, and this is like, you can press super R and they will bring up this enter a command prompt for you, so you can enter a command and run that command there, and you can just press escape to go back. And then we have Windows, and especially what I like here is tiling and snapping. So here we can push these windows in different tiles. So if I switch to my screen, you can see like super up, super down, and like super left and super right is like this very nice way of easily moving your windows to the position that you want them to be. We can also move them to other monitor. Like I can just use the Shift Super Left and Shift Super Right for my left and right monitor. I don't have monitors up and down, so this won't be useful for me. We can move between workspaces, and so I just set up that with the Super 1, Super 2, and Super 3 and Super 4 I can move a window to another workspace, and then I can navigate to that workspace with the Shift and the Super key and the number. And I can also just switch to the next workspace with Control Alt Left and Control Alt Right, or Super Tab and Super Shift Tab. So let's take a look at how this works. So now if I press Super 2, then this window is moved to the second workspace, and if I press the Super Tab, then I am at the second workspace now, and I can just push it back with Super 1 to the first, and I can press Shift Super 1 to go to the first workspace, or Shift Super 2 to the second, third, fourth, and also the same with Super Tab and Super Shift Tab. So let's Super Shift 4, Super Shift 1, you can see like I can jump directly there. I really like these combinations. You can also launch terminal with Super T. I use the web browser with Super W and Super E for the home folder, and I also added a shortcut for my preferred calculator SpeedCrunch, Super S. And here you can see that SpeedCrunch is just SpeedCrunch. So you can add your custom shortcut here easily too. So this is for my shortcut settings, and there is one more thing I wanted to show you. So there was the keyboard settings. Go back. And now let's take a look at the Windows settings. So in the Windows settings, what is very important for me is that when I open a new window, that should not open in the middle. So it was originally set here to center, but I prefer it to be automatic. And well, the other options I don't really care much about, but this one is very nice, because if I just open like maybe a new terminal, and then I open another new terminal, you can see that they are nicely being tiled on the screen, which is very good. The windows by default don't overlap. Oh, and what is really nice here in this plank dock is that now that two of these terminals are open, I have two dots there, and so if I just can click the right icon, right mouse button, and I can just switch to any of my terminal windows, and the same is true for the for other icons here, which are open in multiple windows. And you can see here, problem is that, and that's another additional thing that I want to talk about, which I almost forgot. But so in default, I have these three icons here: the Firefox, the URXVT terminal, and the Nemo file manager. And so if you can see, like if in general these applications only present you a close menu item, so you cannot open a new window just by right clicking them. If you left click them, that will just bring you to wherever they are. And so what I wanted here to change is this behavior, because for the Nemo file manager it already has all these special directories that you can go to, and Firefox already have the new window and the new private window options. And so I wanted to do the same thing for URXVT, and for that I needed to go back to my directory, but not the .config, but the other one, the .local directory. And in the .local/share/applications we have all these desktop files. And so I already had modified the URXVT desktop file, but same, you can USR share applications, copy it to your local share applications directory. And if you do that, like I did, and you can see, for example, with Nemo, if I open it in the GVim, then let me show you my GVim window. So if you open it in GVim, you can see that in the bottom of this file you have these actions equal open-home, open-documents, open-images, open-computer, and open-trash, and these are defined here in these what is it called, the brackets, I guess, and the name is home and exec Nemo, and then name documents, exec Nemo documents, and exec Nemo pictures for the images and for trash. And so these are kind of the options that when you go here you can see on the list: home, documents, images, computer, trash. And so I did actually the same thing for the URXVT desktop, so .desktop file. So if we take a look at that, I just added here actions open-new and just defined it desktop action open-new, and basically name open new and exec just URXVT. It just needs to open a new instance of the program. And so you can see here that this is called URXVT and open new is written here as I just defined in my desktop file. Okay, so I think these are all the things I wanted to show you about my setup on this desktop environment, and so I hope you enjoyed it. If you have other ideas about how to improve this setup, then share it in the comments, and subscribe to the channel if you want more Linux related content, and well, like if you found it useful, of course. Check out my playlist, and I will see you in the next video. And until then, bye bye.